Hey guys, welcome back to JR14. Here we are with another video for you guys regarding the project build on Project Mark 7 to get it more track inspired. Control arms from Whiteline. We did H&R. We did a H&R front sway bar, 28mm front sway bar. We did a Tyro Sport dead set kit. We did we did a lot. So basically what we're going to be doing now is now we need to adjust the height of the car. So pretty much after now with the adjustment of the car, you know, obviously with suspension, springs did very well. And actually here they are right now. He's got a light. Go ahead, get the light on there. All right. So these are the H&R springs. They still held in pretty well. And pretty much they did a really good job in regards of handling New York City streets. The ride was very comfortable. I went on plenty road trips with it. Did a couple track days with it. However, I need something a little bit more firm. And especially the stock suspension is going to be put more stress. It's going to have more stress on the actual stock struts. You're going to have more. Damn it! No! What we're going to be doing today, we're going to be installing H&R Coilovers. Like I said, I had H&R springs along with my stock shots and struts for a while. Around, I believe, Calvin, when did we install? Do you remember roughly how many miles did I have on the GTI?
Nope.
I hate him. I really do. He's been so much more nicer last year. Now he's just like, yeah, straight that status. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. So basically, what we're doing now is that we're actually going to be swapping out the springs and the struts and all the suspension. We're stripped with everything, all of that. We're taking out, and we're actually going to be putting in the new. These are 8 new H&R coilover setup. Now these are the entry-level coilovers. They're height adjustable only. I wanted street dampening just because of the fact that I am going to be mostly dailying this car, and I wanted to have a good, you know, a good background where it comes down to having a specific spring and strut on the car without having to do much. So there, like I said, there is no there you go. So pretty much we're gonna do the fronts and the rears, and we're gonna show you two sides. So the one side that I want to show you is the rear with this guy. So this guy right here is something to do with the evaporative system for the gas tank. You know, when you overfill it, when you overfill the car with gas too much, this is kind of like an extra collector so it doesn't overflow. And then obviously this is the, you know, the gas tank. You pour it in here and it comes down here into the tank right there. So we actually have to unbolt this and move it to the side to get to the two strut. You see one bolt right here, and we can't get to the other bolt because this is blocking the way. So I wanted to show you how to do this on your Mark 7. The other side's relatively easy. It's just literally you take the fender liner off and you take those two bolts off. And then what we're going to do after we show you this side, after it's completed, we're going to show you one of the fronts to do that as well. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get it installed on the car.
I am adding some new shit. Like I am making something. I don't want to roll it out or like slightly trim it. If I'm gonna cut the body of the car I'm using, then I'm making something drastic. Like give me, like, if I'm gonna fit an 18 by 10, I'm not just gonna roll it just for a little kick. Not just gonna roll it just for no reason. Like,
yo, he was really. I said, hey, because the wheels that I'm getting, I'm a little nervous about the offset and the size. So GTIs, they really can't fit a lot underneath the body with no issue. However, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to add camber in the rear. I'm not worried about the rear. The rear I know will fit without any issues. However, the fronts is going to be the challenge because I don't want to do camber plates, and these camber plates are extra money. And it's weird because I'm focusing track days and I don't have camber plates. But again, I want to do simple setup where I can actually be very competitive on a track, because me and Brian, I didn't tell you guys this and he doesn't know this, but I want to run him on a track at Eurocracy, because last year he didn't have his car because he tried to do a subframe and he had a huge fail. It's not to throw shade at Brian. Brian is definitely mechanically inclined, and after doing some of this stuff, I feel a little bit more mechanically inclined than what I'm normally used to doing on this car, like intake and exhaust and stuff like that. But this guy Devin's just absolutely ripping this turbo right now. This is just like, that's all you guys. I can't do that. I can't do it. We're gonna go ahead, like I said, we're going on a rant, but we're gonna definitely show you We're definitely going to show you how to install these coilovers step by step. We're not going to go all around the car. I'm going to show you the rear on the most difficult side and one of the fronts. That way it's actually replicated on the opposite side. Makes this video shorter for me, makes it shorter for you so you can keep your attention more, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead.
Yes, the fun one.
The one that will pretty much figure it all out. Still trying to, so what we're trying to do now, you're trying to take these bolts out here.
Yep.
Get these the lower control arms in the rear down.
Yep.
So that we can take out the old springs. I need one.
Yeah, you do.
I need one. I'll lay it down.
All right.
You got it.
That one.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm trying to see. There you go.
Finally.
Yeah.
Where this comes in handy.
Yep. Exactly. That thing comes in handy.
Doesn't just drop on.
Right there. All right. These just screw out?
No. Zip tie.
Oh, zip tie.
Oh. What the hell how do you do?
Thank you, sir. All right.
Respect. Oh no. Smells a whip in the light. Oh yeah.
What I'm looking at.
So what we have to do now, these are the new rear shocks from H&R. So what we have to do is we have to transfer, we're putting new strut mounts, like I said, speed density strut mounts from 034 Motorsport for the rear. Also what we have to do is we have to transfer over the dust boot for this. So that's going to be a task within itself.
Pretty
but it should be
simple process.
simple. What?
Pretty simple process. How you feeling right now?
I'm a little tired, but you know, I'm excited.
You're tired. How are you tired?
I didn't sleep for 2.5 hours
Oh,
in that car.
now when I get some sleep.
I duke it out. I duke it out. Turbo's getting installed.
I'm not using the shocks again.
So
How you feeling?
Sorry.
Oh, bro.
Cut zip ties. That's how you can do.
yeah, I did this. All right, guys. So what we're doing now is that we're gonna head ahead and assemble everything in. Now, before you put these in, you just don't put them in. Just put them in as shocks because these just come bare. You actually have to transfer over the dust boot. Use a zip tie to tie it right here. Change your strut mounts. I always recommend changing your strut mounts. I didn't do it, and then like pretty much like a few months later, I had a lot of clunking from front and rear. So this should make everything feel tight. And for the first time in a long time, I will have a completely quiet suspension until this gets old in New York City roads, and then I'll probably ruin it within the first 2 years. But the good thing about H&R is that they do offer a 2-year warranty on all of their products regarding the suspension components. So you're definitely good on that. So let's put this in. Am I doing this right?
Yeah, you know, we can lower it, right? Like a little bit. That's right there, though.
Oh shit! I was like, scared the crap out of me. That's what you were saying. I thought you told me to lower it a little bit. Make what a little tighter.
These, because I know my gun doesn't have the hits this does.
So
I want to make sure.
So we're taking this back out again.
Huh? Yeah, I'm taking it back out again. But I don't want to have. How did I do this?
I don't know.
You got it. It's okay. Kiana hasn't seen. Yes. She has no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I knew I didn't know. I didn't even try to do it.
How did we get this out?
Yeah, Devin, look it up.
I feel like we're very close.
We are close. It's like a slide up, out, and in maneuver.
$2,000 years later.
Knowing I used mine, I did not want just made me feel unsafe. I just did not want that to be, no, not on someone else's car. I need to make sure all your stuff's tight. I don't want to leave anything to chance.
I just don't want to die on the way home.
Yeah, that's like my worst fear. So I don't want that ever.
My worst fear.
My car, I don't care.
You're like, fuck it, I'm on the side of the road, somebody come get me.
I got AAA, I think. Actually, I don't have AAA, but
You live like you do.
I live like I do. I live like I have AAA.
All right, so this is what they look like from the rear. It's the strut. When you do the strut, we actually change the mounts. You also have to transfer over the boot and the bump stop along with it. Now, like I was saying, you guys saw in that image.
I don't even know where you go.
So that end link had to be cut. The bolt had to be cut down because White Line developed these with the bolts being too long. So it actually was hitting against this spring right here. So as you can see, Devin actually did a good job of cutting that. You guys are actually going to see some sparks real quick because he's about to cut the other one. So.
Hope if you got the right size socket.
It would help, wouldn't it? that would just be.
I love the sarcasm in the group. You know, it's definitely.
Probably what, 15?
He has a headache. Do you have your headache anymore?
No, I got some caffeine in me. And I'm good.
There you go. Yes. Oh, it's definitely cold by now. I was like, oh, that shouldn't have been good, but. So we're doing the other side now. Again, I'm not showing you this side. Next time you're gonna see the next clip will be on the front side, and we'll show you how to do one of the front coilovers. Same on both sides. They're relatively the same on how to do them. So I will definitely show you the front once we finish this side. Some sparks real quick. Because the White Line bolts are too short, I mean too big. Okay. Okay guys, so you just saw us do the rear. That is how you install the rears. Only suggestion that I do give you guys for the rears, make sure that when you do the rears, you transfer your bump stops, your dust shields, your dust boots for the rear. You have to transfer those over from your stock shocks to your new shocks. And then when you do the springs, the actual rubber piece, the rubber piece that goes on top of your normal spring, you eliminate that and you use that with the new top hats, adjustable top hats. So do that. So now we're going to show you how to do the fronts. Now the fronts are very easy on your car, so all you would have to do, since we already have the axles out, we can actually just drop this completely, take this one bolt off the spindle, actually, you know, loosen the spindle from the top, and then from the bottom here, one bolt, spreader tool, spread the shock, 13 millimeter bolts on the top, and then after that, we're able to drop the shock completely. Now what's different with this compared to the springs is that actually when you take out the springs and you do a spring job, that's just only a part of the line. Then you actually have to disassemble the actual shock, and you have to swap the springs, then put the new spring, the strut mounts and the strut bearings, and then the top hats on the mounts on top of that. So the good thing about that is just a simple swap for us. So essentially all you're doing is swapping over a coilover, and then after that you're putting a shock mount and a shock bearing and also a shock top hat mount on it. Now I've heard some mixed stuff about different top hats not fitting well with some strut bearings. So what I decided to do is just to go with OEM everything just for now. If I need camber a little later on down the line, all I have to do is just take the 13 millimeters out, take the 13 millimeters, the 3 bolts away from the bottom, drop it down, take off the top hat, and replace the top hat with a camber, a fixed camber one. Tighten it down, pop back in the car, I'm good to go and get it realigned. Make sure also when you're doing the suspension, I know I'm talking a lot, but there's a lot of good information for you guys. Anytime you're doing any suspension work on the car, it's it's the first key thing to make sure that you get in alignment as soon as possible. If you don't, you're going to chew through your tires and they're going to ruin you're actually going to you're going to shorten the lifespan of the tires if you do not get in alignment as soon as possible. So as you guys know, I'm getting new wheels and new tires for this, so we're definitely going to be changing up the setup pretty soon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take out the front spring, the front struts. All right, so as you guys can see here, oh my God, this is not how you're supposed to do this. Why do you have this all out like this? Okay, so the only reason why we have everything out like this, you have pretty much the whole knuckle out of the car. It's because we were doing everything else with the subframe and everything, and this is literally the easiest way to take it out. So normally this is a good way to show you guys too. What I'll try to do is I'll try to zoom in as best as I can on the video so you guys can see. This little split right here, this is the knuckle. So we're gonna take this bolt out, which is a triple square. I don't know the size of that triple square, but essentially what we want to do is loosen that, and this will expand. Get a splitter tool so that you can get this open more, and then you slide this whole strut out. Once that's out, you literally put the new one in, and then you assemble everything on top. So on top, as you guys can see, this is the top hat, and the strut mount sits on the bottom of this. These tend to make noise, so anytime you're either changing springs or you're changing the coilovers, it's always good to change both of these, because these do wear out over time depending on the state you live in. New York City, I hit a lot of potholes. These will wear out faster. So if you hear that, imagine that times 5 in the car over a certain rebound. So without further ado, let's go ahead and disassemble this. And we got new end links for the front too from Whiteline. So we're gonna install, strap all this on the car, get everything set up. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get it done.
Oh, I was like, okay, that's a little erotic. I'm like,
Passenger, right?
Yeah, appreciate it.
So while we're doing the install, what are these called, Brian?
Roll center correcting ball bearing.
All right, so these are from Whiteline as well. They included them with my control arm kit. Finally, Calvin doing some work. Focus is lovely. All right, so as you can see here, this will give you an extra 0.5 degrees camber. It will of adjustment. So you can slide this up or back on both sides on the control arm to allow the wheels to give you a little bit more camber. This is what I'm going to need specifically. So now I kind of need to get about, the control arms give me about -0.3. This gives me -0.5. So now I need about -1.2 extra camber to get the wheels to fit that I want. Another way that I'm going to do that is a different way, but I do necessarily want to run a little bit more camber for track, so that this will be pretty cool to run. So they do include, I don't know if they include them in there or not. They included it with my kit. I'm sure they sell these separately, so you might want to check out their website and take a look at these. But we're going to go ahead and install those on. So essentially you replace those with these.
Yeah.
So in a minute we're going to take those out, but first we're trying to get the strut out. Strut?
Anti-control roll thingy.
Oh. Yes.
Got an R on it?
It does.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah, right? Like this work. So one of the things working with him, like I was talking about, especially over the last year, when you have the right tools, it makes things 1,000 times easier.
Really? Like this is actually pretty quick.
Because I've tried to do this before, like at home, and I had like a flat head, and I was like trying to bend it and like crease it. It wasn't.
You end up breaking your own stuff.
Yeah, that is the fastest I've ever seen a strut come out.
That's true.
I have never. Get the right tool. Like it makes such a it makes such a difference.
Words from Brian.
Just get the right, like, no, like I bought some cheap triple squares, and he's got a really nice set pair. Like I had stripped some shit. Just if you buy it right the first time, you don't have to buy it twice.
Right.
Because like his stuff, like we've broken things. He's like, I got a warranty on it. Like he that socket that's broken, he got a warranty on it. I just give it to a guy. He gives me a new one. It's ridiculous. It's just buy the right. Just buy. That's right. Oh, that's too big.
That's a rarity.
Alright guys, sorry about that. I'm sorry that I was able to cut the video like that, but I did run out of memory on my camera. But I figured I'd take you on a little drive real quick before we close up. Shut up. Alright, so H&R Coilovers, what can I say? It's about a month and a half later after that video that you just saw. And I can honestly say that I really do love them. They handle very well in the corners. Like, you really have to like be mindful of how fast you're going around a corner because they handle extremely well. But the good thing I like about the H&R is I had a bad experience with coilovers previously. With my 2013 Accord, I had D2s on the car, but this actually drives extremely well. The handling is nice. The rebound on the suspension is not harsh. It's not bouncy. It feels like stock but firmer, and that's exactly what I was looking for. The only downfall is that, like, I mean, I didn't realize I needed this until after I purchased my wheels. But I wish I had camber plates on the top. Maybe that's something I'll upgrade on the H&R Coilovers later on, or maybe I'll upgrade the coilovers later on, probably next year or something like that. But next time you do see this car, it will be on a racetrack. It will be on a racetrack. I will be in Urakasi racing the car, and I will give you my full blown impressions on it there, because that's really where this car is going to shine with the white line control arms and everything else. So guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. But if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to JR14. And guys, you always remember that cars are a lifestyle.